Hello, world, and hello, amazing Philippines. Good day. We're going to discuss, of course, Module 4 of your TTL1 or Technology for Teaching and Learning. And this is about flexible learning environment. This is, of course, Sir A saying you it's nice to be back. And of course, it's nice to be with you again. So for our module outcomes, the first is describe a flexible learning environment and the different platforms used in flexible learning. The second is recognize how innovative teachers use online resources and educational sites and portals for online distance learning. And lastly, reflected on the use of technology and on its relevance and appropriateness. But before, of course, we discuss our lesson, kindly, of course, hit like and, of course, subscribe. Supposing if you are not yet, of course, a subscriber of this YouTube account. Okay, again, this is Sir Mar or Sir A saying enjoy. So let's start now our, of course, lesson. So distance learning is, of course, a form of learning without a face-to-face contact with a teacher and, of course, delivered via telecommunications. And, of course, speaking of the past, okay, this involved, of course, correspondence course wherein, of course, the students corresponded with the teacher via mails. And of course, with the advent of the newer technologies, distance learning then, okay, in delivered via, of course, computer. And we use, of course, computer-based media, thus it is called online learning or e-learning. So this made, of course, classroom borderless and, of course, learning boundless. I like this one. So through, of course, these online learning or e-learning, this made, of course, classroom or the classrooms borderless and, of course, learning boundless. So this was, of course, enhanced by the emergence of Web 2.0 tools, which made collaborative learning easier. Okay. And the online, of course, distance education and communities of learners, okay, are now, of course, viewed with, of course, different ways. Okay, or learning nowadays, of course, is viewed differently. And the present generations of learners has, of course, access to information at their fingertips. Probably by a click of a finger, you can have your information now. And the teacher is no longer seen as basically the dispenser of knowledge, but of course, rather as one who expertly directs learners to take their own track in searching for answers to questions raised inside the classroom. So if you're going to notice, our role shifted from, of course, being the center of teaching and learning process. Now we are, of course, the facilitator of learning. Okay, so that's good, of course, with what we have now. And take note, every chance or corner becomes a learning space. I like that one. And it is clear that learning takes place anywhere. And these adds, of course, the concept of flexibility in the learning environment. So the learning now becomes flexible. With technology, students, of course, can possibly continue to join class sessions even if they're not physically around. So you can, of course, even study in the place you wanted to. Okay, as long as, of course, you can have connection. So the learning space becomes, of course, virtual or mediated. So the library is not only a physical structure where they can read and publish, of course, they can read published books rather, but also becomes virtual. So that's very nice now with the setup that we can have now. And online distance learning, okay, is not probably, of course, a new concept among us. Even some schools and the higher education institutions in the country and the educational agencies such as the Southeast Asian Ministers of Education, Innovations and Technology or Education Technology, or what we call the CIMEO, Enotech provide mode of learning and it allows flexibility in learning to a certain extent. I could still recall during, of course, our master's degree. There are, of course, few universities who are offering distance learning. Some of course, these universities are the Open University of the University of the Philippines, and the PUP Open University System, no? And we have, of course, the AMA, okay, wherein they have online education. We have also Asian Institute for Distance Learning, and of course, the TESDA online program. So these are examples of the distance learning that we have before, and of course, even now. And of course, this number, of course, increases. Okay, so we have now, of course, the different platforms that we can probably use now. The flexible mode of learning use of platforms such as the Moodle, the Classroom, Google Classroom, the Edmodo, Schoology, etc. And these are, of course, free programs designed for educational purposes. And if you notice it has actually features that are patterned after the instructional activities of a teacher in a physical classroom. So it's environmental friendly also, no? And when we use this, you can actually hold a lesson, post questions or discussions or for discussions. Then you can hold an online chat discussions or give assessment activities and provide references or links to other online materials. So that's very nice with the different platforms that we can have. And this is actually increasing by numbers. We have, let's discuss one by one. Let's have the model. Okay, it was actually created by Martin Dougiamas, and of course, is the founder and CEO of the model that stands for Modular Oriented Dynamic Learning Environment, which is, of course, an open source software, and it is a learning management system or LMS that supports teaching and learning. Other than that, of course, we have the Google Classroom and the Edmodo. Our elementary department is using, of course, um, this platform. Okay. The Google Classroom. Some of probably of our um, some other schools, which I know some, of course, universities are also using this Google platform. It is actually a free service for teachers and students, and it is an LMS platform that is accessible through, of course, our Google account. So what we need is, of course, your Google account. And you can create and perform your roles and functions as facilitator of learning in arcane learning. So in 2008, actually, mod was created by Nick Board, Jeff O'Hara, and Crystal Hutter. If we're going to compare the two, of course, now compared Edmodo and Google Classroom, despite of its commonalities, there are apparently differences but with, of course, technology, things evolve in so short a time. And what is clear is that they were created as apps that can integrate, of course, well with classroom activities. So we can have a classroom activities at the same time, probably um, it can be used as repository of what you have. Like, for example, you have PowerPoint presentations, you can upload their activities and so on and etc. So the decision lies in the teacher who will, of course, determine what work best in his or her teaching and learning context. So both are, of course, amazing tools that can be explored. Okay, we're talking here, of course, about modern Google Classroom. We have also Schoology. Schoology is another LMS founded in 2009 by Jeremy Friedman, okay, Ryan Wang, and Tim Trinidad and Bill, of course, Kindler. Okay, for record, our elementary department now, it is EPU elementary department is using the Schoology. So you can create, of course, your own online distance educational learning system using any of these platforms that we have. We have also, of course, the MOOCs. Okay, that's another recent modality to learning, and it means massive open on learning course. Okay, and it is actually a model for delivering learning content online to any person who wants to take a course. And it allows one to pursue learning, of course, even outside of university or higher educational formal structure. That is, of course, MOOCs. Again, the meaning is massive open online course. We have also, of course, the EDICOS. It is actually a nonprofit association with a mission case to, of course, advance higher education through the use of information technology. So you can open, of course, the page of this edicos. You can, of course, type and somehow it will open like this for you. So there is research and publications, the conference and event, the career development, and many others. Okay. We have also the term synchronous and, of course, asynchronous. So in the flexible learning mode, of course, the activities can be done in two ways. We have, of course, the synchronous and the asynchronous. Both are, of course, helpful now for teachers and even, of course, students. So an online chat at the real time is known as, of course, the synchronous session. And course participants met meet in a virtual classroom and of course discuss a topic in the lesson. So wherever they are situated in the world, of course, they agree on a scheduled session and log in, of course, to join the live class. Okay, that is of course the synchronous. Okay. When we say, of course, asynchronous, that's the opposite. So asynchronous session is when, of course, questions or tasks are posted and course participants answer the question or post their reply at any time most convenient to them. Okay, so that's very nice. Supposing you're working at the same time, you're of course studying or you're enrolled, so you can have, of course, this asynchronous. So they, of course, can still participate in the discussion by replying to the post, but probably it could be open no, later on because that's asynchronous. So one advantage is that you can take your time when replying. And the LMS mentioned in this lesson has, of course, feature that can allow, of course, an asynchronous session. So in the university, we're of course using Canvas, we can have synchronous and asynchronous. So most of the activities are done, of course, asynchronous. Okay. So here are, of course, examples of asynchronous communication that we can have. Well, we can do email, we can have discussion boards, forums, no? We can also have blogs, the wikis, the mailing list, and of course the tweets. Okay, and the one was say, of course, synchronous communication. So directly we can have chat, can have the instant messaging, the text messaging, and even, of course, video conferencing, wherein, of course, you can see whom you are talking with. So that's nice. Okay. We have also the blended learning. Okay. And this is, of course, the other way of handling flexible learning, which we combine modalities, no, of instructional delivery. So we have, of course, the blended learning, which is a combination of learning activities wherein a part of the lesson is delivered online, while, of course, the other is handled in actual physical setting of a classroom. So you can see here a model now of blended learning, wherein of course you can have online and the face-to-face. So there is of course the blending, okay, of the best of two instructional pedagogies that we have. Thus, of course, the intersection of these diagram, okay, comes of course blended. We have, of course, the kinds of blended learning. So we have five models actually that you can see. Okay, you can have, of course, the face-to-face driver. There is, of course, rotation, the flex, the online lab, the self-blend, and of course, the online driver. Let's discuss one by one. Okay, one will say, of course, the face-to-face driver. Okay, so here, face-to-face teachers deliver most of the curriculum, and a physical teacher employs online learning in a technology lab or the back of the classroom to supplement. Another is, of course, rotation. So within a given course, students rotate on a fixed schedule between self-face, online learning, and sitting in a classroom with, of course, a face-to-face teacher. And others, of course, the Flex. It's actually now an online platform that delivers most of the curriculum. So teachers provide on-site as needed support through, of course, in-person tutoring or small group sessions. Then we have also the online lab. Okay, so an online platform delivers, of course, the entire course, but in a brick and mortar location. Often, of course, students who participate in an online lab program also take traditional courses for that matter. We have also self-blend. So students, of course, choose to take remote online course or courses to supplement rather their school's traditional curriculum. And this model of blended learning is extremely popular among of course, our high school students. And lastly, of course, the online driver. Okay, so there is of course an online platform and teacher deliver rather all the curriculum. Students of course work remotely and face-to-face check-ins are either available or mandatory. So again, okay, with our blending learning models, we have six. The first is the face-to-face driver, the rotation. We also have flex, the online lab, the self-blend, and of course, online driver for that. Okay, let's discuss a social network or social networking. So, of course, many of you, if probably not all, no, but I believe it's all of you have, of course, social media account, no, wherein, of course, we can communicate our friends, our colleagues, and so on, many others. Okay. So what do you mean by, of course, social networking platform? So the use of dedicated websites and applications to relate with other users or to find individuals with similar interests to oneself is called social networking. So there is, of course, the word social networking. And a social rather networking service is an online platform which, of course, people use to create or build social networks or social relationships. So with other people who share similar special personal or career interests, activities, backgrounds, or real life connections. So social network or networking services vary in format and, of course, the number of features. Take a look with that statement. Social networking services vary, okay, in format and the number of features. Okay, and we have, of course, the social networking services that can be done mainly in three ways. The first is we have social networking websites. We have also instant messaging services. And the last is, of course, video calling, wherein, of course, we can see, no, the one who are, of course, we're talking with. Okay. And of course, having that, there are, of course, the advantages of social network. So the first here is that, of course, staying connected. So you can, of course, be connected with your friends, no? With your classmates in elementary, in high school, and of course, your old friendships. So you are able to rekindle, of course, old friendships. You can share family photos, no, and the special events in your life with just about, of course, everyone to know at the same time. So that's it. Number one is staying connected. The second one is finding people with common interests. So social networking is also a way, or a great way rather, to meet, of course, entirely new people. Yeah. Those who wanted or have, of course, interest now with different things or hobbies, like for example pets. You can have no those people who loves music also, you can find it. So number two is finding people with common interests. The third is that it has, of course, invaluable promotional tool, or it is, of course, invaluable promotional tool. So companies, artists, okay, and musicians, of course, can reach an impossibly large and diverse amount of people using, of course, social networking sites. And this allows, of course, them to promote, okay, and market themselves, okay, and their products in a way that has never been, of course, seen before. So there is, of course, promotion of the product. Okay, and number four is information spreads incredibly fast. So by just probably, okay, a click of your finger, you can, of course, spread the information. So breaking news and other important information can spread like wildfire on social media sites. Okay, so the important things like recalls, storm information, or missing children are communicated and, of course, taken seriously very quickly. So that's nice. And lastly, of course, it helps to catch and convict criminals. So mind you, okay, we need to be very, very careful, okay, because people often do not think of the consequences of what they post and these, of course, of these social sites. So pictures of themselves doing illegal things, okay, or even bragging posts about crimes they have committed are all things that the law enforcement use to persecute these criminals. And they also use, of course, these sites to identify, can solve existing, of course, cases. So that's five. Okay, advantages. Let's have the disadvantages of social networking. So the first is, of course, perpetuates false and unreliable information. So what does it cause for us? We need to, of course, now be critical. We need to filter information. So just like stated above, anything can spread to millions of people within hours or days on social media. So we need to be very careful. Okay, the second one is it causes major relationship problems. So, maraming tahanan na winasak. Maraming mga relasyon ang nawasak dahil of course sa social media, no, or social network na tinatawag. So, online social interactions with social networking have not only been starting, no, new relationships, but ending, of course, many others. And it is very simple to communicate and share, of course, pictures or plans with a person on social media, and of course, keep it completely under their wrap. So this new temptation has been, of course, driving with just okay into people's real life. So offline relationships, open time, no ending them for good, and social networking, of course, puts trust and to, of course, the limit. That's, of course, the second causing major relationship problems. The third is, of course, cyberbullying is a growing problem. So we cannot deny the fact that there is, of course, cyberbullying that is happening. Okay, so having access to people's lives at all times is not always a good thing. Yeah, I do agree. A new trend of cyberbullying is, of course, wreaking havoc all across the world. So this is especially true among our kids, and they are, of course, they are publicly harassed by another and posting mean of slanderous things which are broadcast or broadcasted to the entire cyber world. Number four is, of course, used to profile and discriminate in the job. I like this also now. It's very, very good. Okay, because um, what I mean is very good to know that um, one of the disadvantages of the social network is they were using or it is used to profile and discriminate in the job world. So, of course, when you submit your application letter or resume or biodata for that, they can see your pictures and they can look, of course, with your social media. So, by then, it will give, of course, them to know, okay, who you are. Okay, and of course your um lifestyle and of course even of course the personality that you have. So just about of course everyone has a social media account. So that shows what they look like, so the type of life that they live and how old they are. Now employers are using of course these to their advantage in some very unsettling of course ways. Okay, then of course, we have number five, addiction is real. This is also true. So one of the biggest problems with social media craze is that people are becoming more and more addicted to using it. It is, of course, the number of one time, okay, waster at work, in school and at home. So all of these, of course, has caused people to have literal withdrawals, okay, from their social network. So it's really crazy, huh? Addiction is real. So that's of course the disadvantages of social media. But knowing, of course, these disadvantages of social network, okay, so we're still, of course, more with the advantages, the plus factor. Okay. So what about, of course, for students? So there are advantages and disadvantages also of social networking sites for students. Advantage is that, okay, there is, of course, technological literacy. There is also bringing people together. Yeah, action. It attracts attention. Okay, or captures attention, no? There is, of course, breadth of knowledge and opportunity to widen business. However, disadvantages are number one, of course, distraction. You agree? Okay, we also have health problems. Okay, even relationship problems, illegal crime, no, versus attacks or virus attacks rather, and negative effect on worker productivity. No, we become unproductive for that matter. Okay, let's have some social networking websites that we can have. So a website, of course, that enables users to create public profiles within that website. It is known as, of course, a social network websites. So it is used to form relationships with others, okay, or with other users on the same website who access their profiles. For example, that we can have is the Facebook, the MySpace, the Twitter, and of course the Google. We have, of course, instant messaging services. So the interchange of type messages between computer users in real time via, of course, or via the internet. And now available as, of course, a feature in most of the social networking websites like Facebook, the Google Plus, and of course, etc. And we have, of course, the independent instant messaging services. As examples of these are, of course, the Yahoo Messenger, the Gtalk, and of course, the MSN Messenger, and of course, the Meebo. Okay. We also have, if we wanted to, of course, communicate and we can see whom we're talking with, we have, of course, video conferencing. This is communication between two individuals at different sites by using computer networks, okay, to transmit audio and, of course, video data. So a webcam and, of course, a microphone are required. Some of the common video conferencing platforms are, of course, the Skype, which is very familiar to you, the Yahoo Messenger, the Lotus Giant. Okay, even probably the Messenger, no, the Facebook Messenger. So we can have video conferencing also there. Okay, so some of course, common social networking platforms are the Facebook, and this is the biggest social networking site founded in February 2004. It's actually founded by Mark Zuckerberg, no? Okay, and it is the most, of course, used and popular network service by worldwide monthly active users. Okay, what can we have here in the Facebook? Okay, it allows, of course, users to post their profile, blogs, pictures, and videos. And it lets one share status, updates, okay, news, articles with friends, and etc. Okay, the second we have, of course, the Twitter, no? It's the Dorsey introduced the idea of an individual using, of course, the SMS service to communicate with a small group. So the original project code name for the service was Twitter. Okay, the TWTTR is founded in, of course, 2006. And it does not only provide social network services, but it also gives online news. So Twitter is, of course, the site where user post and interact with messages called tweets. Okay, and it is also, or it's only actually restricted to 140 characters. But however, of course, friends may tell that they saw the breaking news on the Twitter. Okay, the third one is, of course, Google Plus. Okay, it's actually a social networking and identity service owned and operated by Google Incorporated. And it is designed to be a total communication social network launched in 2011. And users, of course, can make friends and remain, of course, up to date with old friends without leaving their Google or Gmail account. That's Google Plus. We also have, of course, the LinkedIn. It's an easily one, okay, of the most common or popular professional network or social networking sites or apps for work, and is available in over 20 languages. Take note, 20 languages. And it is used actually across the globe by all types of professionals and serve as an ideal platform to connect with, of course, different business, locate and hire ideal candidates and more. So the website actually lets one upload his educational qualification, work history, skills, and of course, relevant experiences. LinkedIn is also very nice, no? And of course, the YouTube that we have, it's actually an American website and the world's largest video sharing social networking site that enables, of course, users to upload, view, share videos, comments, and like them. So these, of course, social networking or network is available across the globe and even enables users to create a YouTube channel where they can upload their personal recorded videos to showcase to their, of course, groups, okay, the friends, families, and even your follower for that. Okay. We have, of course, the Instagram. So it's actually a unique social networking platforms that was completely based on sharing photos and videos. Okay, so this photo sharing social networking apps thus enables you to post photos with captions, allowing followers to like and or comment on one's post. And it is, of course, the best social networking site for photography. So I like Instagram. Now you can use for photography. Okay, then we have, of course, Pinterest. I believe that all of you have seen Pinterest and probably like this one. It is actually a photo sharing and visual bookmarking social media site or app that allows, of course, you to find new ideas for projects. And of course, you can save them also. It's founded actually by Ben Silberman, and it was designed as a catalog for ideas or project ideas. So this is actually excellent choice for those who have passion for creativity. So if you're creative, we can of course use Pinterest. Okay. We have also the MySpace, and it is actually a music focused social networking site that provides, of course, an interactive and user no, submitted networks of friends. Okay, so this is actually fitting social networking website for music. That's MySpace. Okay, we have, of course, the Tumblr. No, it serves as a social media microblogging platform that can be used to find and, of course, follow things that you like. And having been, of course, on the Yahoo since 2013, so you can also use it to post anything like quotes, music links, including multimedia, then to a short, of course, form blog. Okay, we have also the Skype. Yeah, is one of the most popular communication-based social networking platforms, and it is actually owned by Microsoft. So Skype, of course, allows you to link or connect with people through voice calls, okay, video calls, no, using webcam and text messaging. So you can even, of course, conduct group conference call. And the best part of that the Skype calls are free and of course can be used to communicate with anyone located in any part of the world or over the internet for that. And we have also the Flickr. Okay, it's another highly popular photo sharing website created by Ludicorp in 2004. And it serves as, of course, a display place to upload numerous high quality images, na especially people who love photography. It is also an efficient, of course, online photo management and sharing service for that matter. And of course, we have the TikTok. So it is actually a social video app that, of course, permits its user to share short videos. And it was actually the fourth most downloaded app in 2018 and looks like yeah, it will top, of course, that list in 2020, no? Okay. So supposing in the year 2020, we're now 2023, TikTok's really saturated the market. It is actually known in China as Douyin, and which means, of course, vibrating sound. So available actually, okay, on iOS and Android. And TikTok is, of course, popular for creating short music videos of between 3 and 15 seconds. No? And you can also produce short looping videos of between 3 and 60 minutes for that matter. So that's TikTok. Okay, let's have those reasons of social networking sites popularity. The first is, of course, it is free of cost. The second is you can find and make new friends. You can also have easy to use. Then it has a lots of features like video sharing, uploading, no? Photos sharing, playing games, chat, and friends with friends, and etc. We have also commercial use. Okay, so you can have ads targeted for people belonging to certain area. Okay, we have also marketing. We have the next is most of the companies are turning towards, of course, these sites for advertisement purpose. Then the geographical information about a person is known. And lastly, use of these sites for the purpose of targeted ads and publicity. So for publicity and ads, no. Okay, these are the reasons of social networking sites popularity. Okay, what about dangers that the user should take into consideration? Number one is phishing. It's actually an attempt to obtain confidential user information by camouflaging as a trustworthy entity. We all have also, of course, cyber stalking. It is literally rather harassing and following another person's online. Okay, so social networking sites open up many doors for cyber stalking. Okay, and of course, lastly, your spoofing. So it is when one website poses, okay, as another website for malicious response. So this actually a sale involves the cloning of the legitimate web page, such as the bank site, no? So the cloned site is created on another server under, of course, the control of the scam artist and is created to deceive, of course, users into believing they are on a trusted site. So URL spoofing. Okay, cyber stalking and phishing are dangers that a user should take into considerations. Okay, we have also, of course, issues about cyberbullying. So this uses the site's messages, updates, and other functions to harass, intimidate, taunt, humiliate, and of course, pick on individuals. So in general, of course, cyberbullying is not good. Okay, so when this happens, you can do the following. The first is you need to ignore the behavior or by not responding at all, ignoring. Second is block the person. The third is click the report button or abuse. Or lastly, talk to trustworthy adult, no, about it. You can open to your principal, okay, or probably your supervisor or cooperating teacher. So that's it. Okay, what about, of course, safeguarding oneself when engaging in social networking sites? This is according to Bilbao. Number one is social networking account has passwords and login details. So we need to secure passwords and keep the password private. Okay, you need to consider that. Next is log out every time you use public computer. The third is, of course, regularly check privacy settings of social networking websites. Online posts are saved and may become, of course, permanent part of their online reputation. So we need to be very careful what we're posting. Do not accept invites from contacts unless you know them personally. Okay. Then we have, of course, seriously consider the effect of possible posts, no, on others before deciding to do so. And using appropriate language is essential and better be safe than sorry. So that's it. Take note. Okay. And where there is, of course, an indication of harassment or abuse, it is advised that you report this by clicking the report button of abuse. And of course, remember that bullying takes place even in social networking websites. So that's it. That's very probably common. Okay, let's have lesson 11. This talks about online resources or educational sites and portals. So you can see here, of course, the digital storytelling will. Okay, and this talks about three categories, the iPad apps, the web tools, and of course the Android apps. Okay. Um, The online sources, the sites and portal, of course, suggest tools and describe how they can be used to engage learners. So below, or in the probably the other side, is the image of iPads or iPads apps, okay, Android apps rather, and web tools, which you can use no in the teaching and learning process. Okay, this of course picture can be summarized in this table. So we have the digital storytelling wheel. Okay, so for our iPad apps, we have Lego Friends Story, the Adobe Spark page, the Puppet, no? Pulse HD, the Telagami, the 30 Hands, the Toontastic, the Tell About These, the Subors, and the Zoobers. And we have the Shadow Puppet Edo. Okay, what about for Android apps? So you have Piclodge, the comic creator, the book creator, the Animoto video maker, the Story Dice, no? The comic strip it, the flipogram, and the video editor. Okay, for the web tools, we have, of course, the Thing Link, the Google Slides, the Tiki-Toki, no? Timeline Creator, like Little Bird Tales, the Capsies. Then we have, of course, the Zimmer Twins, the Storyboard That, and of course, Voice Thread. You can actually look for this one, no? If you can probably type, supposing in your laptop, and even probably cell phone so that you can see, okay, their logos, no? Okay. And there are also educational sites and portals that we can use. For example, we wanted to have room for tools, applications, activities, and practice that, of course, provide ideas and suggest ways on the use of technology tools. So one of the best portals that can be explored is the technology, educational technology, and mobile learning. It actually consists of tools, applications, no, ed charts, books, links, and many more. They're found, no, in categories arranged by subject area and competency. So if you're going to have, of course, this link, you can see like this one, the educational technology and mobile learning. Okay, wherein we can, of course, get a lot of information here, even probably reference materials, no, IMs, and so on. So the administrator of this site, of course, allows users to download, take note, print, share, okay, the materials, just as long as there is proper citation, okay, and that is done, and that the materials are shared free of charge. Okay, so if you're interested in implementing free educational technology in the classroom, the administrator highly encourages you to share this blog. So this educatorstechnology.com. Okay, so in the digital era, of course, the teacher should have the right mindset, like that one, or a way of thinking how tools can be effectively integrated in the lesson. And one who has the openness to learn can continuously study the features of the tool for technology enhanced lesson properly. So that's it, our productivity. Okay, and then we have the right mindset or way of thinking how tools can be effectively integrated in the lesson. Okay, and one who has, of course, the openness to learn and continuously study the features, okay, of the tool for technology enhanced lesson productivity. And we need to have positive attitude to learn by nurturing curiosity and, of course, sustain the passion to improve practice. And, of course, persevere, no, as he or she learn, okay, to adapt the evolving digital world or digital tool rather. Okay, so last topic that we can have here is, of course, the profile of a modern teacher. So the 21st century teachers are not expert in technology, as what they say. Okay, they are also experts in habits of mind. So meaning magaling na teacher, no? Magaling and mabuting guro. Okay, so in rapid changing education landscape for modern educators, okay, what are, of course, the characteristics of this modern teacher? Number one, we, of course, as teacher, we choose to be vulnerable, no? And see themselves as school learners and, of course, not teachers. You allow, of course, themselves or they allow themselves to fail often. Okay, a good or a modern teacher don't wait until they're, of course, experts to introduce something, and a modern teacher move into their students' world, even if it's foreign territory. Yeah, what's really matter is that you can have good rapport with them. You can have good connection. Yeah, and a modern teacher run towards their idea. No, okay, our area of weakness, not away from it. And a modern teacher are comfortable, not knowing, of course, what is going to happen. And of course, they invite mistakes into their lives. Okay, are you doing it also? You invite mistakes into your lives or your life? Okay. And of course, a modern teacher dream big and ask why not. That's a great characteristics, no? Okay, another is, of course, modern teacher allow their students to teach each other. There is now, of course, collaboration. Okay, then modern teachers step outside their comfort zone. Okay, and modern teacher, a good teacher is the one who embrace change. We also, of course, feel secure asking their colleagues for help and, of course, model resiliency and perseverance. Okay, then of course a modern teacher question everything. And of course a modern teacher, no? A good teacher believe they can learn anything given the right attitude and of course effort. So these are of course the characteristics of a modern teacher. My question is, are you a modern teacher? Do you okay have the following characteristics? Okay, if you answered yes, then You are a modern teacher. And of course, the future belongs to you. Okay. So for, of course, our references, you can see it here. Okay. Thank you very much. Terima kasih. And of course, thank you for listening. Again, of course, this is Sir A telling, okay, that it's of course nice to learn new things, particularly of course in this era wherein almost everything keeps on changing. Okay, if you have not yet, of course, click the like button, the heart button there, or of course share this lesson, and of course have not yet subscribed in my YouTube account, kindly do it. This is again Sir A saying thank you so much, God bless, and good day to all. Okay, thank you.